So this is part 3 of lesson 3, enterprise business growth and size. Why the owners of the business may want to expand their business. A lot of owners wants to expand their business. They don't want their business to remain small. So there are a lot of benefits that they are looking for because of this expansion. So the first benefit is the possibility of higher profit. They're aiming for higher profit because large businesses are gaining higher profits than small businesses. Number two, to gain status and prestige for the owners and for the managers, higher salaries are often paid to managers who control bigger businesses. So they are aiming for to expand their business as to gain higher salaries if he's the owner or the manager, and also to get a higher status and prestige. Number three, lower average cost, and we're going to explain it later in the coming videos. The costs are going to be lower for the large businesses. And number four, larger share of its market. The proportion of total market sales, it makes it greater. This gives the business more influence when dealing with suppliers and distributors, and consumers are often attracted by their big names. So they are aiming to expand their businesses in order to have this kind of prestige, that in order to be known as the big name or a big business. In when they are dealing with suppliers, they're going to find it easier to deal with suppliers, distributors, or even consumers. They're going to be affected more, or to have this positive or better perception of the business because it's big. Now, all businesses, they grow in different ways. We're going to explain the two main ways of growth. The first way is internal growth, and the second way is external growth, which can be through takeover or merger. Now let's see, what is internal growth. Internal growth is when business expand its existing operation. Um, when the business expand its existing operations, so it's expanding internally. And external growth is when a business takes over and merges with another business. It's often called integration, as one business is integrated with another one. So in the external growth, we have a takeover or by merging with another business. So a takeover is the acquisition, is when one business buys out the owners of another business, which then becomes part of the predator business, the business which has taken over. So as a business, I have business A and I have business B. When I'm taking over, I'm business A. If I'm taking over business B, then I'm taking the whole ownership of this other business. And also, as we said, over here we have merger, is when the owners of two businesses agree to join their businesses together to make one business. So if I'm merging with business B, so I'm the owner of business A and business B, they make one business. They merge together, they integrate with each other. Three examples of external growth as shown below. So here, miss, we have horizontal merger or horizontal integration, in other words, when one firm merges or takes over another one in the same industry at the same stage of production. So in horizontal merger, if I'm working like in the industry of food, I will take over or merge with another business that's working in the food industry. Or if I'm like in the tertiary sector, I will merge or take over another business in the same stage of production. I will merge or take over another business in the tertiary sector. So here we have the definition: horizontal integration, one business merges or takes over another business in the same industry. We should pay attention, in the same industry or in the same stage of production. And also here we have vertical merger or vertical integration. Let's see the definition of vertical integration is when one business merges or takes over another one in the same industry but at the different stage of production. So vertical integration could be forward or backward. So here it's different than horizontal. Horizontal, I take over the business or merge either it's in the same industry or in the same stage of production over here. Meanwhile, vertical, it's when one business merges or takes over one of the same industry, but at a different stage of production. So if I'm a business working in the primary sector, I will take over or merges with another business working in the tertiary sector, but both of us were working, for example, in the food industry. So the vertical integration could be forward, when a business integrates with another business which is at a later stage of the production. Over here, we're going to take an example. If I'm just like this one, if I'm in the primary sector, I will take over or merge with another business in the secondary or in the tertiary. And also here we have backwards, when a business integrates with another business at an earlier stage of the production, closer to raw materials of, in the case of manufacturing business. So if I'm in the tertiary sector and I want to vertically merge with another business, I will go backwards. It's either I merge with a business in the secondary sector or I merge with a business in the primary sector. And the third type of merge, it's the conglomerate merger, is when one business merges or takes over a business in a completely different industry. It's also known as diversification. So conglomerate merger, it's also called diversification. It's when a business working like in the food industry, it's merging or taking over another business in the car manufacturing. Different industry and could possibly be in a different stage in production. So, the likely benefits of integration: horizontal integration, the merger reduces the number of competition. There are opportunities of economy of scale. It's combined business will have a bigger share of the total market. Forward integration, which means I'm taking over a business that's in a later stage of production. The merger gives an assured outlet for its product. I'm making sure that I'm the one who's giving out the products. The profit margin by the retailer is absorbed by extended business. The retailer could be prevented from selling competing models of the car. Information about consumers' needs and preferences, now it can be obtained because now I'm working in the tertiary sector. I'm seeing the consumer and I know his needs and wants. Backward vertical integration, the merger gives assured supply of important components. So if I'm going backwards, so I have a direct contact with the supplier, so I'll get the right components and raw materials. The profit margin of the supplier is absorbed by the expanded business. The supplier could be prevented from supplying other manufacturers. So if I'm dealing with the supplier over here, I will make sure that the supplier is only supplying for me and not supplying for others. Cost of components and supplies from the manufacturer could be controlled. So all of this backward vertical integration is focusing more on the supplier, because now I'm going back in the stages and I have a total control on the supplier who is supplying for, and I'm making sure that he's providing me with the right raw material. And here in the conglomerate integration, the business now has activities in more than one industry. So as I said, I'm working in the industry of food, now I'm working in the industry of cars. There might be a transfer of ideas between the different sections of the business, even though they operate in a different industry. So I can share ideas in different businesses. Now, problems linked to business growth and how these problems can I overcome these problems. So expansion is not an easy thing to do. So because like I'm gonna face a lot of problems, but also these problems I can overcome them and I can find solution for these problems. The first problem, larger businesses is difficult to control. So I can operate the business in smaller units. I can work in smaller units. This is a form of decentralization, which means that I do not control the business as a whole. No, I, let's say, distribute it, or I, let's say, put it into small units and I will control each unit at a time. Number two, larger businesses leads to poor communication because it's large. So I might, as a business owner, I might find difficulties communicating with different departments. So also we have a solution here in working in or operating in smaller units, just like this one. or use latest IT equipment and telecommunication, but even these can cause problems. I can use technology to contact different departments in my business. Number three, expansion costs so much that business is short of finance. Large businesses, they need a lot of money, so a lot of money, a lot of costs. So the businesses might not be able to cover these costs and needs a lot of money to cover these costs. So one of the solution is to expand more slowly. It's okay to expand, but like take it one step at a time. Use profits from slowly expanding businesses to pay for further growth. Wait for the profit in order to move forward with your expansion. Ensure sufficient long-term finance is also important to make sure that you have the right finance, the right amount of money before expanding. And number four, integrating with another business is more difficult than expected. For example, different management styles or ways of doing things. So if I'm integrating with another business, the owner of that business has different management style or the way of working things out. So introducing different style of management requires good communication with the workforce. They will need to understand the reasons for the change. So in order to be able to use the different styles of management, the workforce should understand and to be able to communicate with this workforce in order to understand the reasons why I'm doing this management in this specific way. Why some businesses remain small? Not all businesses grow. Some stay small, employing few people and using relatively little capital. There are several reasons why many businesses remain small. Not all businesses they become famous and large because there are several reasons behind that. Number one, the type of industry the business operates in. Number two, the market size. Number three, the owner's objective. Now let's talk more about them. The type of industry the business operates in. Here are some examples of industry where most businesses remain small, like hairdressing, car repairs, window cleaning, and so on. Businesses in these industries offer personal services. So this is the reason why these kind of businesses, they cannot be large because they have personal services or direct contact with the customer, or they have specialized or specially made products, whether they are talking about goods or they're talking about services. I can't have large amount of customers or to be large because I'm offering customized products. If they were to grow too large, they would find it difficult to offer the close and personal service demanded by consumers. In these industries, it's often very easy for new businesses to be set up, and this creates new competition. This helps to keep existing business relatively small, personal services, and because they are offering specialized products. Number two, the market size. If the market, that is the total number of customer, as we said previously when I was explaining in the previous video about the business plan about the market is the number of customers, is small, the business are likely to remain small. This is true for businesses such as shops which operates in rural areas far away from cities. Also why businesses which produce goods and services of specialized kinds, okay, which appeal only to limited number of consumers because already they remain small because already they are dealing with low number of customers or a limited number of customers, and as well they are serving specialized kind of services or goods such as very luxurious cars or expensive fashion. They might relatively stay small. Number three, owner's objectives. Some business owner prefer to keep their business small. So this is what the owner wants. He doesn't want to expand. He doesn't want a large business. He just like it the way it is. They want to, or they prefer to keep their businesses small. This could be more interested in keeping. Why? Because they are in more control of their small businesses. They know their staff and customers, and than running a much larger business. Owners sometimes wish to avoid the stress of worry of running a large business. So these are the reasons why an owner main objective is just to remain small, because he wants to keep control of things. He wants to know all of his staff, because large businesses, they might have like 3,000 employees or 4,000 employees. He doesn't have like this direct relationship with their staff. So I want this owner wants a small business because he wants to know his staff, and number three, because he wants to have a direct, let's say, relationship with the customers that they visit his shop or business. Now, causes of business failure. So the main reasons why some businesses fail, we have four main reasons. Number one, lack of management skills. This is common cause of new business failure, lack of experience that can lead to bad decisions such as locating the business in area with high cost but low demand. Family businesses can fail because the sons and daughter of the founder of a business do not necessarily make managers, and they might reluctant to recruit professional managers. So I don't because some owners of the business, they don't have the management skills, they don't have the experience, they don't have the skills, so they will not be able to do the right decision for the business. And number two is changes in the business environment. Failure to plan for a change is a feature in many of the later chapters. This adds to the risk of uncertainty of operating a business. So a lot of changes might happen to the business environment, and if you didn't do a plan, you will not be able to face these changes, especially changes in new technology, or if there's a new competitor in the way, or there's a major economic change. So if you didn't plan these in your business plan, it's gonna lead the business to fail if they didn't know how to respond effectively to these changes over here, which is new technology, competitors, and economic changes. Number three, liquidity problems or poor financial management. Shortage of cash is the main reason why a lot of businesses fail, and lack of liquidity means that the workers, suppliers, landlords, and government cannot be paid. So one of the reasons why the business fails, because it fails to pay the money that the workers, suppliers, landlords, government are owed by the business. Failure to plan or forecast cash flow can lead this problem, and is a major cause of business of all sizes failing. So if I don't have enough money, I didn't plan my financial let's say statements correctly, I didn't do the forecast, so I will not know that at some point in this business I will not be able to pay these people. And the fourth reason is over expansion. When a business expands way too quickly, it can lead to big problem of management and finance. If these are not solved, the difficulties can lead to the whole business closing down. So if I'm expanding too quickly, I'm opening a lot of branches too quickly without doing a proper planning, it's gonna lead the business to fail. Why new businesses are greater risk of failing? So a lot of businesses, they fail after 20-25 years, but why also new businesses have greater chance to fail? Many new businesses fail due to lack of finance and other resources, poor planning, inadequate research. In addition, the owner of a new business may have lack of experience and decision-making skills of managers who work for a larger business. This means that new businesses are nearly always more at risk failing than existing well-established businesses. So as a new business, I might fail, or the chances of failing is more than the well-established businesses, because lack of finance, not enough money, not in poor planning, I didn't do enough research, I don't have enough experience, and I don't have the needed skills to proceed with my business, such as decision-making skills, and it's all gonna lead to failure. Unlike the business owners who have been in the same industry for over 20 years, who have all of these, let's say, reason, they have the skills, they have the experience, and so on. That's the end of chapter 3. See you in the next video.